Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. Today is January 3rd. It is 2020. Congratulations, we made it. It's the Beta Project. I'm DeMarcus Tunstall, and you can always find me on YouTube at Humble and Focused. All one word. Go ahead and type that in the search bar, and I pop right up. Today's video is titled Lost Learning. Lost Learning. And today's quote starts off as life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. And so I'm going to ask God to help me out with this one and hope that it goes the way it's supposed to go. So, hey, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. It's Guy Marcus. I just want to say hello to you. Good morning to you. Talk to you about some things. You know what I'm saying? It's all. First, I want to show you this shirt. The shirt's legit. I got this from my best friend for Christmas. So it says Giant Slayer. Giant Slayer. And I love this shirt because, I mean, honestly, you know, every battle that we deal with is we're slaying a giant. But ironically enough, if you pay attention to the size of the giant, as you get stronger and you get older, there are more giants to slay, bigger and better and badder than the next. And if you want a new 2020, you're going to have to slay some of those dragons and some of those giants that have been in your life. And not only that, as you level up, the dragons and the dragons and the goblins and the giants get bigger and they get stronger, because that's what happens. See, we often live this easy peasy life because we don't understand that, you know, we do understand that as we do level up, there's more that comes with it. New levels brings new devils is another quote that often comes up. But I want to talk about this lost learning here. And if you notice the way I wrote learning in this video, I took the word earn and I made it bigger. I capitalized earn, and I have this type font that just makes everything capitalized, but at least you kind of see that the word earn is in the middle of it. And this I never really have a video that I'm starting with that I have, you know, something I'm saying, but I'm talking about right now is what I heard, like TD Jakes kind of put something in my head because I didn't know what to talk about today. And so then he said something that kind of hit me and made me realize that this is a perfect way to go, because we're starting this 2020 and we are up here trying to do different things. But ladies and gentlemen, for us to start 2020, kind of talked about this yesterday, the only way for us to be successful in this 2020 time frame is that we must move to the next level and let go of things that are not ours. 2 videos ago, I talked about holding on to something so tight that you cannot grip your blessings that are to come. And then yesterday, we talked about how that 2020 is a lie if you think that it's just going to come easy peasy. So now we're going to talk about fighting these demons and fighting these giants that are happening. But ladies and gentlemen, we often are going to go from one relationship to the next, and we wonder why the relationship fails again. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right now, you did not slay your giants, and you did not learn. The lost learning for this video, and where I'm trying to go with this, ladies and gentlemen, is that we don't take and examine the things that we have lost to get what we are supposed to learn so we can earn what is meant for us for the future. See, there's three words in here now. We're not examining what we lost, the relationship that we lost and why it didn't work out, why we don't have enough money and why that keeps happening, and why we can't get healthy, you know, and this stuff. And then we go to 2020 and it's all supposed to change, and you just make these other decisions. We're like, oh, I'm going to change something, but you never analyze what you're about to lose, what you just lost. If you analyze the weight that you have on your body that you're trying to lose, you will find out that there is a reason that you have it. And if you can examine the reason that you have it, then what happens is that you're now able to control the journey of what's coming next, so that you can earn a better body in the future and learn why it did not work for you. See, ladies and gentlemen, we often want to say, yeah, I moved forward. I moved on from him. I moved on from her. I moved on from food. I moved on. I got a new future and it's going to happen. But ladies and gentlemen, if you have not taken the time to examine why your old future fails, then you end up repeating history. History will repeat itself. But if you're not willing to take the stock and put it in there and find out why history started off in the first place, then it's a problem. I'm a prime example. I often find the same type of woman because my mentality is thinking about how this woman is not right and she didn't do right by me, so that it has to be that the next woman is gonna, and ironically enough, remember, what you think about you attract, so I'm attracting the same type of woman because I've never gotten past the fact that this one type of woman did me wrong, and I keep finding women just like her. So without going back and examining what I did in the past, now understand this, ladies and gentlemen, let's also go to, actually, before I go there. So without going back and examining why the past didn't work, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot figure out why your future will not be the same if you're not going to go back. So there's a loss that you must learn from to earn your future. So that's part one. And let me put that thing back up here. Life can only be understood backwards, ladies and gentlemen, as we go back and we see where we happened and where we messed up. And notice I keep saying where we, but maybe I should say where I, and I as in you. So where I and where you messed up. Life can only be understood backwards but it must be lived forward. So we got to go forward. There's no way to go backwards in time, except if we can think about these thoughts. So the I and the you, because I need to separate this and say the we, because I need you to take value in stock, and I also need you to take hold and ownership of the fact that you had something to do with everything that happened to you in your life. I know a lot of people say, oh, well, he did this, he did that, or she did this, or she did that, or no, ladies and gentlemen, here's the problem, that we're always trying to put off the fact that somebody else did something to us. We don't take possession of what's truly ours. When you start to take possession of what's yours, you can change what is yours. You don't walk into somebody else's house and clean it unless you pay them, or they're paying you. You don't walk into somebody else's house and clean it the way you want it. Why? Because you can only control you. So without examining the past and realizing what you did, you can never learn what you're supposed to earn in the future, and you keep repeating the same mistakes. Hold on. Examine yourself before examining anyone else. Be much more thorough with your own examination. Oh, we can tell you everything that is wrong with the person that we just dated. Girl, he didn't have enough money. Girl, he didn't have enough this. Girl, he didn't give me enough love. Why did he not give you enough love? Why did all these things happen? What are you doing, or what didn't you do to get what you wanted? If you went to the grocery store and you wanted vegetables and you just stood in the middle of the aisle, but you didn't shop for it, and you didn't pay for it, then you didn't get groceries, and then you want to blame the grocery store? Ladies and gentlemen, we got to take stock in the fact that we have something to do with what happened to us in the past. We got something to do with the fact that we're overweight. No diet, no gym. Okay, I mean, can we take stock in that? We have to take stock in the fact that we are monetarily where we are. You didn't make a change because you're scared, and you think I gotta pay bills. I gotta pay for my bills. Right. But ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna have bills whether you're rich or poor. You're gonna have bills whether you're happy or sad. So why not choose to be happy and figure out why? And see, the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, a job will only pay you enough that you don't quit, and you only work hard enough that you don't get fired. So if that's the case, why not do something you love and still make money? Yeah, bills are gonna come, but you can still be more and do more. There's a piece of this that we're not understanding. And somewhere along the lines, we think that all we have to do is just make a change and it'll be right. 2020, I'm a different person. The hell you are. And excuse my French, because I don't like to cuss, and that's about as close to cuss you're gonna get me. No, you're not different. You are the exact same. You're a person who you went to bed one night, and you woke up the next day, and now all of a sudden you're changed? It has to come from inside of you. It has to come from deep down. Yesterday I talked about the roots and the soil. And the soil below does not get disturbed, but it's the soil on top that disappears with water, with rain, with all the type of weather. When things happen in life, that topsoil has to go, but that bottom soil stays strong and permanent. So you got to change the bottom soil, but waking up the next day just because it's a new year and a new decade and a new date on the calendar doesn't make you stronger. It doesn't make you better. It doesn't make you anything. It isn't until you do the examination of the past to figure out why you went the way you went that you'll go forward. Why do I drink so much? Why do I smoke so much? Why do I eat so much? What am I covering up for? Why do I go out and have random sex all the time? Because I don't want to feel lonely? Maybe. Well, what if you decided not to go do that and see what kind of man you attract then? Why don't I stop drinking and see what my body actually does? Why don't I change my life in one way, shape, or form in permanence so that whenever it comes down to figuring out why things aren't the way they are, or that I want something different, that I can't go out and grab it myself? But instead, ladies and gentlemen, it's not our fault. We often are making excuses for ourselves because it's easier. It's so much easier to blame somebody else for your hard times. It's so much easier to go out there and say, oh, that's not even a big deal. Oh, that's how they are. Oh, that's how I am. That's what you just did to make sure that you have an excuse to be the way you want to be. You don't want to change. And as soon as you see, here's why we've always been talking about getting rid of those friends of yours, right? The reason you got to get rid of those friends of yours is because as you change and you grow, if they don't go with you, they will beckon you back to being who you were. And so if you haven't learned anything about what your friends are and why you had to step away from them, then you'll return to your friends without an understanding of why your friends are. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you didn't leave your circle for real. You took a temporary hiatus from them, but you made your way back. But if you want to go forward to somewhere, it's like a bungee cord. If you run forward to a certain length and you stretch it, it's going to pull you right back if you don't detach. So I need you to detach and find out, wait a second, why do I keep going back to these same type of people? Why do I keep attracting these same type of women? That's mine. Why do I keep going and having the same type of money? Why does my life keep turning out the exact same way? Are you living with the purpose and the intent that things are supposed to happen well for you? Or are you living with the intent that things may happen better, or you probably don't deserve better, or woe is me? Because, ladies and gentlemen, think of grow rich. Let's see if I can get right to it. This is actually a new secret book. Let's see if I can get right to it. This book was talking about the other day, it was like telling me, it said, you will attract what you think about. And here it is. Actually, perfect. Okay, here we go. I can imagine what a lot of people are thinking. How can I attract more money into my life? How can I get more of the green stuff? How can I get more wealth and prosperity? How can I, when I love my job, deal with the credit card debt that I have and the realization that maybe there's a ceiling on the money that can come in because it's coming through my job. How can I bring in more? Well, how you do that? You intend it. This goes to show that one of the secrets that we've been talking about throughout the whole book, your job is to declare what you would like to have from the universe. If cash is one of them, say how much you would like to have. And let's see, I would like to have $25,000 unexpected income within the next 30 days. Or whatever it happens to be, you should believe it. If you don't believe that you can change, ladies and gentlemen, then you're going to snap right back to your friends. That's why you have to examine the past and figure out why in the world you keep ending up in the same place you ended up in the first place. It's time to change your destiny, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't take a different road in your road circling around, you're going to understand why you're back at the same place. If you're walking on a track, you're not going anywhere. But if you take that path down the street, that same distance that you just walked on a track, that mile distance could take you to somewhere completely different. But you need to examine yourself to find out why what you lost is gone and why what you're learning is going to help you to earn your next great thing. Why you got to slay giants in your past if you want something more to happen. If you don't kill the giants, ladies and gentlemen, guess what happens? You return to fight that giant again. But you got to slay these giants. You got to take stock in what you have and what you had and examine it to understand how you won't do it anymore. And if you can do that, watch how your life changes. Watch what you learn and watch what awesome, amazing things you can earn. The universe doesn't care what you ask for. It just needs you to believe it, and it needs you not to return to what you had, and it will give you everything you need. And that's all I have for you today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm DeMarcus, and I believe and I love in each and every single one of you, and I appreciate you being here. You're blessed 100%. Put that mind in the right place. Okay, so the whole point of this is that you left a lot of stuff behind in 2020, or you left some things behind in 2020. How do I know? You have a resolution, a New Year's resolution. That is becoming and creating to leave things behind and change things. Instead of just going off and changing things, examine why you were there in the first place. Examine why food was your comfort. Examine why that relationship didn't work instead of jumping into the next one and hoping that it will. Actually, you don't hope. You know it's going to work, but you didn't change who you are. You're the same person. You want the different money? What are you going to do to change it, ladies and gentlemen? We got all these things that are back. We have all the evidence necessary for complete and utter change, but we ignore it. Why? Because that requires taking stock in who we are, and maybe that we're not great, and maybe that we need work, and maybe that we need to help ourselves, and maybe we need to invest in ourselves, and maybe we need to know more about who we are before we go running, gallivanting off into the wilderness and coming back with the exact same thing. So that's what I need you to think about, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of the day, there's enough evidence for you to prove to yourself and for you to understand who you are. But will you take stock and find out who you are? Will you find out who you are? And if you do, watch how things change for you. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to go back to that first one. Boom. Life can only be understood, the mental process, backwards. But we must live the action forward. So if you can understand what happened, ladies and gentlemen, and you go forward in life, then you can have anything you want in life. Guaranteed. Just change that thought process and get to work. That's all I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Oh, wait, no. I will see you on Monday. I'm not going to be here tomorrow.